What's up, everybody? This is this is kind of not going to be the normal thing. I'm just here home alone, and I have like a bunch of stuff I have to do. The main thing is, as some of you know, I've gotten several printers lately, and I have the one How i3 coming also, and my shop's not really like equipped for that yet. So I need to kind of change the way I have everything laid out. As you can see, I still have the Anet sitting here on the table. I haven't moved it anywhere. This light is really bright too. I think I need to adjust that. But but yeah, I just thought I'd stream tonight. I don't have much going on. I thought some of you might be sitting at home on a Friday with not much to do and want to hang out for a little bit. Uh, so yeah, this is going to be really casual, no particular purpose other than, like I just said, trying to reorganize the shop and stuff. Uh, so yeah, if anybody watched the assembly and stuff we did, the A8 has been printing okay. I actually haven't done too many prints. I like this little rocket thing that you print in vase mode, and this didn't print too bad. There's a little bit of inconsistency with the extrusion. It's like it just really briefly and periodically stopped extruding. I don't know if there's something wrong. Might just need to extrude a little hotter. It's hard to tell, but overall, as far as like the precision of where the extrusion lines are, it seems pretty good. Like we don't seem to have any wobble in any of the axes or anything. So overall, not bad. And again, I still have not done any calibration. I did dial the bed leveling in a little bit better now that I understand that a bit more. But beyond that, I've done literally nothing. I did get. You can see I have the cable wraps on. I did get some of that tended to, and actually like the job I did. I've taken some pictures of it and put it on Twitter or something. But it's a little bit cleaner. It doesn't have wires everywhere. I have not plugged it back in since I did the wiring, so hopefully all is still well. But overall, it's a decent looking machine now. Now that it's not like a rat's nest of wires and stuff. Just link this stream from Joe's channel? What? Is somebody else might be streaming? There might be somebody else streaming. I didn't really check, so apologize if I'm stepping on toes. Oh, is Maker Noob still streaming? Oh shit. I didn't realize. I was watching him earlier, but I didn't realize he was still streaming. But yeah, I mean, by all means, go watch him. I know he's celebrating 5K. I don't want to steal his thunder at all, uh, but yeah, we're gonna be here hanging out for a bit. Like I said, I just don't have shit going on, so. Oh, good. I'm glad. Well, I don't mean to say I'm glad his stream ended, but yeah, hell, I didn't know he was still going. Oh, there's Joe. What's up, man? Yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to steal your thunder there. I was watching you. What? It's like an hour ago. It was like a while ago. Yeah, I didn't think you'd still be going. But yeah, I said it in your stream, man. Congrats on 5K. That's fantastic. I know with YouTube growth, you hit some of those thresholds like 5 and 10K, and yeah, you're probably headed to a good place here in the near future. So great job, man. Great job. I love how like you hitting 5K is it's just like all the YouTubers when they hit their thresholds. It's like it's a big inspiration for everybody else to kind of like get their shit together and keep pushing and stuff. So yeah, I was really glad to see you hit that mile mark. But like I said, fair warning, this is going to be exceptionally laid back. Just kind of be hanging out and chatting and stuff and moving a bunch of stuff around. So heads up for that. But yeah, I don't really know what I need to do here. I think I kind of want to have all the printers on this wall just because it'll make cabling and power and stuff a little bit easier. Because we do have the oh god, I forget how much this thing weighs. It's only 30 pounds, but I just don't expect it to weigh that every time I pick it up. But we do have the battery backup that we want to integrate, and maybe we could do that today. Run some test prints on each printer, And I have a little kilowatt watt meter, and just see what wattage all of these draw. I don't know what kind of power supply this has on it. I imagine it's not too damn big. It's probably 200 watts or less if I had to guess, but I'm not sure. Jai, you hit 4 subscribers. Way to go, man. With no videos, that actually is impressive. More than 0 subs with no videos is... Keep doing what you're doing, man. The NES Paradise. Yeah, I have a few. I actually have a lot less than I normally do right now because I've been slacking. But I need to move this light. This light is way too bright. But all right, I have a few zip ties to put on the A8 here, and then we're gonna fire it up. And like I said, hopefully it still works. Hopefully it still works. Because I unplugged everything to kind of reroute the cables a little bit better. But overall, they actually just happen to be in places where it's easy to integrate them on the same cables. There's a couple pictures I found online. There was one guy in particular that the way he cabled his extruder wires and stuff I really liked, so I kind of copied that, kind of stole it. I'm taking it, making it mine. And Ataris. Yeah. I think the newest console I have in the house now is an N64. What upgrades on the A8? Nothing immediately. I want to get some print time on it and try just calibrating it and dialing it in with the default setup to see what we can get out of it. And then first step will be like printed upgrades, probably cable chains. I hate the wire wraps. Even though I took the time to do a fairly reasonable job on the wire wraps and make sure, the travel lengths and everything are fine, just not my favorite setup, honestly. But I think I'm going to do mine purple. I have this, I moved it. I think I'm going to do mine in this kind of AIO purple, pinkish kind of color. I don't know why. It just seems like the thing to do. Keep everything nice and bright so it's easily identifiable. But I want to reprint these. I know it's kind of trivial, but I don't like that these are white. It's really throwing off like the feng shui of this machine. You just bought a Sega Mega Drive. Oh, that's kind of cool. Is that one of the, I forget what they call those, like the anniversary editions or whatever? Some of those are cool. Some of them suck. I know the Sega Genesis one. I don't know if that's the particular one you mean. Some of the game ports on those are kind of terrible. My son and I are just starting our YouTube channel. Thanks to me. Oh, get out of here. I mean, I'm glad if that's true, but name it Bruise. Yeah. So I have a ton of tools that need put away. I just kind of want to throw them in a bag and deal with it later, honestly. Like my pegboard, it's funny, I put the pegboard up and I kind of like half-assed threw everything on it and never readdressed it at all. So it's still like really haphazard. But yeah, part of the problem, I don't know if you can see it over here. I have my mixer sitting here. That for a long time has needed to go somewhere else. And I just don't know where to put it. Because I don't adjust it much, but it is nice to have access to it. Like I can mute. And it's nice to have access to that stuff. Like the other day I realized I was clipping a little bit, like 3 hours into the stream. So it was nice to be able to just like tweak it with like an analog controller instead of having to get in the software settings. That's funny, Joe. I would imagine if we would do that in the right lighting, we could probably make ourselves look related. I'm Clark and he's Superman. Hey, what's up, Mechwad? MechWD. I never, like, some names are tough. It's always funny when it's like some obvious like acronym or something and whoever's trying to say it like doesn't pick up on that. All right, so what does everyone think? The only thing, I guess it doesn't make that big of a difference, but the only thing is if we put all the printers over here, I don't know. I just think it would look cooler on cam if they were over here, but I don't want to move all my shit. Especially this, I think I kind of put myself in a situation with this blue thing because it has like screw slots where you basically put it on and then it slides down. And I basically installed that and then put the shelf tight up against it so I can't actually move it up off the bolts that it's mounted on now. So I'd kind of have to break it to get it off. So unless I really need to move that, that's kind of where it's going to be for now. Like I said, let's throw the last few zip ties on this and button the A8 up. It still needs calibrated and stuff. I haven't done that. I'm still kind of surprised at the quality of the prints without doing anything. Just kind of setting it up and kind of hit and print. I did slice this, and the cool thing about like most i3s is you don't have to do anything special in your slicer. So this printer, with the exception of having the 0.4mm nozzle in it, uses essentially the same profile that my MK2 does and prints okay. I mean, maybe I might have to tweak the extrusion multiplier, though the better approach would probably be to just calibrate the E-steps in the extruder. I don't know, Joe, if you're still here, if you ended up doing that with yours, but it's probably not a bad process to go through on any printer, even if you don't think it needs adjusted. Might need tweaked a couple percentile points and, fine-tune it a little bit, but anyway. Let's, one plus, if anybody watched the assembly, one plus of the A8, I just recently bought a pair of flush cutters, and they were kind of cheap. I can't complain about the price. But my $160 3D printer came with a pair that is nicer than the ones that I paid $8 for. So, another bonus with the A8. Kind of ridiculous. E-steps, baby. Alright, let's get this zip tied up, and then pretty much this last zip tie and it's done. That's pretty much it on that. And it does, I think it does need a control box for the board and stuff. I think that would be ideal. It needs a little enclosure for the bottom of the power supply. I think that's a smart move too. Yeah, Joe does have a pretty good video on how to calibrate your extruder, but I don't know if I ever made a video. I don't think I ever made a video on that. We did it on a stream more than one time. It is very easy. It is something you should do. Like I said, even if you feel like your printer's printing okay, it's not a bad little process to go through. Just so you understand, kind of what's going on with how your extruder motors work and stuff. Doesn't take long at all. Okay, so I guess we can kind of quickly turn this on. I forget how long that little rocket took. I kind of don't want to sit here and wait for that to print. But we can double check that everything is okay. And another big reason I want to print a cover for the power supply on this is it doesn't have an on-off switch, which I hate. Let me double check everything before I plug this in. Then we'll plug it in. But I think everything's okay. Yeah, everything looks all right. If everything goes black, you guys will know that everything wasn't okay. All the smoke is still in the electrical components. That's a plus. Your 100 millimeter extruding seems to vary. I've done it several times on the MK2, and there was one time where it seemed to be different, but I couldn't like replicate that outcome again, which was kind of weird. And it's kind of unsettling when something like that happens. Because like I've probably done it 10 times, 10 or 12 times, and it was like damn near perfect every time, except that once where it was off by like a lot, and I don't know why. Can we know your 911? No magic blue smoke. No, everything seems okay. It's kind of weird on this printer that the extruder fan runs all the time. I don't know if that's normal. Does anybody know? Anybody else that has an A8? Is that the case with yours as well? Because mine, it runs like 24/7. Oh, I know something else I wanted to do. Again, referencing Joe's videos, if you saw the video he did, which I think was a fantastic video on the shootout with the cooling fan shroud things, I do need to print one of those, but I am going to use the stock one for a little while. But if anybody heard when I was printing with this machine, this sounds like a dental drill. It has like a whistle effect because this print's so damn ugly. This print is really, really rough. Maybe they printed it on uncalibrated A8s. Maybe that's how they do their stuff. I wouldn't be surprised. But I need to take a hobby knife and clean up the inside of this so it doesn't whistle like a dental drill. But nothing too crazy. It just has like such rough edges on this opening that the air kind of catches it and makes a freaking horrible noise. That's probably plenty. This is kind of a weird feeling material too. I wonder if this is like similar to that sample, that kind of weird white colored PLA that they put in the kit. You can tell they printed this on the side, and the inside of that top, it didn't handle the bridging too well. So it's got like all this spaghetti on the inside, which gives you really fantastic airflow, as you can imagine. That's the way they put it in the Magic Blue Smoke is my thing. No one can't take it away from me. Everybody should keep their own Magic Blue Smoke. You shouldn't ever take it out or take it away from anyone. It's very important. But yeah, it just seems super weird to me that the fan's on all the time. Even at an idle. It's especially humorous to me when the fan isn't doing anything particularly useful, even when the machine is printing, because of the way, like, not only is it not pressed very tight against the metal pieces it's adjacent to, those pieces it's adjacent to aren't really going to cool that much in the extruder while it's printing. So it's kind of funny it's on all the time. It's like the least efficient fan ever. 100% uptime, 0% efficiency. But yeah, if you gotta go, Joe, thanks for stopping by, man. And again, congrats on 5K. I'm sure you're gonna hit 10K before you realize it. you're going to go to the Maker Faire and come back and be at 10K. I wouldn't be surprised. But okay, I'm going to shut up. So I did realize there's a quick menu after somebody pointed it out. It's just kind of weird. Like we preheated for PLA there, and it doesn't really acknowledge that you hit that at all. Like it becomes obvious fairly quickly that the heat bed's on. Like I think I can feel it heating up here. Yeah, like I can feel it heating up, but it doesn't really acknowledge that you did anything, which is kind of weird. So I still don't know all that much about this machine, but I'm hoping the alternate firmware that people use improve the user interface a little bit, because it's kind of not so great out of the box. It works. I won't criticize it on that front, but it's kind of weird to interact with. It's very unresponsive. So yeah, we kind of need to make a decision here moving forward. Let me get a tape measure and see what the footprint of this is. It looks damn near identical to the MK2. It's actually about 3 inches wider. The MK2 is at about 17 inches, including the extruder motor on the side for the, or not the extruder motor, but the stepper for the X-axis. This one looks like it's about 20. And then build plate all the way forward. Build plate all the way back. Looks like it needs about 20 inches of depth. I think it's about similar to the MK2. Yeah, a little bigger. A little bigger overall. So, how far would that stick out here? I mean, that would definitely fill this area up. Probably put the MK2 in the middle because it's the one I'm going to be messing with the most. Maybe this one on the end and the duplicate, or the duplicator here. I don't know. The problem is we're kind of going to have a corner, and corner ends up being dead space with square objects. So, I mean, besides the fact that the MK2 is going to get a little butthurt that it's not like on display there in the corner anymore, it's not very efficient to have it there because I can't really set it that far back in the corner because of the build plate going back out the back of the machine. And I don't know. I don't know. I'm kind of at a loss of what to do. But, like I said, I'm going to grab the power meter thing I have, and we'll start a print. I won't let it finish, but we'll start like that Chinese chess piece or whatever the hell that was on this thing and see what kind of like actual watt draw it has. Like I said, you could look up the power supply that it has, but like the MK2 has a 250 watt power supply, but it only peaks at about 190 most of the time in the tests that I've done. So we'll just do a quick unplug and replug here. Since we did heat the extruder up, we don't want to leave it with the fan off. So sitting idle with the fan on, you might not be able to see this. It's drawing about 7.5 watts. Round about that. And we'll preheat it again. I can hear the only acknowledgement you have that you're preheating is that you can hear the RPM on the extruder fan dip like a tiny little bit. Pile up the spools in the corner. IKEA's your friend. Yeah, I know. We've talked about the lack enclosures like a million times, but they just don't fit here. Like, I don't have enough bench space. And the way this area is, for the most part, the area you see here is all I have. I could, I guess, have some printers under the bench, but that doesn't seem very sexy. Plus, those printers are going to feel left out. They're going to feel like the unloved children. Wow, preheating, that is not drawing much wattage at all. That's only at about... oh, there it went. It's going back and forth between about 40 watts and about 150. Like I said, I could look up what this is, but I would guess this probably is like a 200 watt power supply, somewhere in that region. It doesn't seem to have a ton of power. There was like 135 watts. So I think the SD card's in here. We have filament loaded. Let's go ahead and start a print. I really don't care how it turns out. Oh, I don't know. Has anyone else experienced this? When I'm scrolling through the things, I don't know if you can hear this. Listen for that whistle. If you hold the scroll down button while you're scrolling through files, it ramps up the RPM on the extruder fan, which is freaking weird. Does anybody else's do that? That is bizarre. I don't know if you guys could hear that. But yeah, if you hold down the scroll button when you get to the bottom of the file list, it ramps up the RPM on the extruder fan for some reason. Yeah, it sounds like a teapot whistling or something. That's freaking weird, man. This has some weird firmware on it. That's an odd idiosyncrasy to have. So I don't know. I don't know if that's visible on stream at all. I have the other cam hooked up. It's just not turned on. It looks like, it just struck me, it looks like it's trying to do like a purge strip along the front of the bed like the MK2 does, but it's actually missing the bed a little bit. It looks like my Z height calibration is off again too. I don't know. Does that reset when you unplug the printer? There's that dental drill sound. I don't know if you guys can hear it. It appears we didn't fix the... If I caulk it a little bit in the slot, it fixes it. But yeah, my Z height is totally screwed again. That's you reach the end of the list. It's not an audio notification feature. I could see someone from the company saying that, though. You're complaining about a feature. All right, let's accomplish something here. I have these plaster tiles that have been sitting here for like a month. Need put away. And the box was like 3 feet away. I just never put them in. That's a special kind of lazy. It's like, I don't know if you guys have noticed all these gaming minis, these War Machine minis back there. They've been sitting there for like a freaking month and a half. So I just wanted to have a rough idea what this machine is actually using as far as power. It's really low at the moment. Oh, there it went up to like 200. But it seems to be hanging around like 50 to 60 watts. I'm kind of surprised that it's that low, and it peaks to like 180 to 200 occasionally. I guess when everything happens to be on at the same time. Why do some people print spool holders with the Prusa MK2 when you get one in the box? The one in the box kind of sucks, honestly. It doesn't, like Duckrut just said, it doesn't work with some spools. That's one of the reasons. Like it doesn't work with these AIO spools because the holes are kind of inset. Here actually is. You see how short the ears, if you want to call them that, are on these spool holders? And if you have a spool that has an offset center, it doesn't work. I have some that are really bad. I might have thrown those away. I don't know what brand they were, but there was a couple brands that it's a really deep offset, and these just don't work. Because I always used a 3/4 inch piece of PVC and put it between there, and that worked pretty well. I used that for basically the entire time I had the MK2. I just recently put the thing in the corner there. That's the Hatchbox little filament rack you can get for, they're like $9 on Amazon, and they make a double one too. But it just I took one of the sides off and mounted it there so it hangs with the spindle sticking out. And it works pretty great. It's not going to work here probably later today because I'm going to move that printer, but yeah, that's why people print them. I don't know where the hell that spool is that I'm thinking of, because one of them, it was flush on one side, and then the circle on the other side was inset like an inch, and they just wouldn't work. I don't know. It's somewhere. I probably threw it away. At any rate, I'm lingering here. I need to make a decision. I reached out to Kodama to see about getting some of the replacement parts for the Trinus. They haven't gotten back to me yet. Because I don't really know what I want to do. I kind of want to get everything. I'd kind of like to get the unheated build plate and mess with it for a little bit, and then also get the heated build plate and see how it performs, which I'm sure it'll perform well. But it would be nice to see both of them. I need to get a printer with an enclosure. ABS feels right. Well, I did. One of the things I mentioned when I contacted Kodama was about getting the kind of bubble-looking enclosure for the Trinus. But it's like $100. I know. Joe, he got one for his, because it is funny how much it changes the appearance of the printer. Because when you don't have it, let me get this freaking thing out of here. When you don't have it, this thing looks like a little, like, this looks like a commercial machine, really. The way it's built is just kind of incredible. But when you get that, like, bubble rounded corner enclosure for it, it looks a lot more like the stereotypical, like, consumer, cheaply made, or not cheaply made, but more budget oriented 3D printers, which I thought was funny. Okay, we can go ahead and stop this. Like, it would be nice if this moved the axes up away from the print when it stops. But overall, like, this print looks nice. The bottom layers are like complete bullshit because this resets your Z height adjustment whenever you unplug it. I'm just guessing that's the case because it's like off again by a couple millimeters. Yeah, my plan with the Trinus, again, I know so little about it because it was an impulse purchase. Most of the other printers, this being another exception, most of the other printers I did a lot of research before I bought them. Like, I know a good bit more about the Duplicator i3 because I actually wanted one of those, but I don't know if this will accept like standard brass nozzles, because if it does, I'd like to try and get like a 0.15 nozzle on it and have this set up to do like super detailed prints, like with the 0.15 or maybe the 0.25. I know one of those is available, but I don't know if I did get it's actually sitting right here. Philistruder, they're a reseller for E3D here in the States. Philistruder hooked me up with the 0.15 finally, and one of the E3D V6 lights, or the I forget what they call it, the V6 light or the V light or the 6 light, something like that. Because eventually I want to put that V6 on here. Again, once I run it through its paces with the default configuration, but that's like the long-term plan, is to do that, and hopefully this will make like a decent little workhorse. It's got some kinks that need ironed out of it, but I think it should make an okay printer if we can get it dialed in and working okay. All right, guys, we gotta make a decision here. So I think I'm gonna heat the MK2 up and eject the filament. That okay, like preheating that was so much easier than preheating this thing. That took like 2 seconds. It looks ripe for a Titan arrow. In that case, manually set the Z calibrate so when it homes. Yeah, I don't. Again, I don't. I'm this firmware on this. I have no idea what it's actually running, so it's all kind of alien. It would be nice to permanently set it, because the bed seems, I don't know. The plate actually seems quite level. Arguably leveler or more level than the bed on my MK2. It's got a little bit of a hump in the middle still. Because I actually I wanted to do a video on that. I actually finally went through the process of manually fine tuning the mesh bed level, and my first layers are a lot better now in the MK2. Because it's always been the case where basically the front 3/4 of my build plate was pretty good, and then the center to about like the back left corner, it was really high. It would squish the layer like really bad. And I finally went through the process of fixing that, and it wasn't too bad. It takes a bit of trial and error, but overall not like a painful process or anything. So, like I said, I'd like to do a video on it. It's again, I think time well spent to dial it in and get best first layer you can. Make sure when it homes, it's not pushing the Z end stop down a little. It doesn't seem to be like, it does click it when it homes, but then it pulls back up off of it. You've got your crap CDC like a champ. But all right, let me move some of this frivolous bullshit here. I need more bins. I need to condense some of this stuff. Because I've got like file sets printed out to review. Like this stuff here is a whole set of like dungeon accessory things that printed out beautifully. Like I know it's a little tough to see, but look at this, like the spikes on these that the MK2 knocked out. Like they're legitimately dangerous, and they're pretty clean. All right, so there's those. We'll set our Chinese chess piece over here somewhere. Next to our Tower of Shame, if anybody remembers that. I think it's set park position. Yeah, like I said, I need to do some reading on it. I just haven't had a chance. Like today, I wasn't supposed to have my daughter today, and for a number of reasons, I ended up having her all day. So I didn't get much of anything accomplished, unfortunately. The official Z level setup is move end stop to exactly the right position to end up at the right height. Oh, I'm sure that's fun. Yeah, I'm sure that's not fiddly as all hell to get right. How do you even do that? Like, position the hot end, and then you'd have to loosen the bracket and push it up until, like, it just clicks? Yeah, I don't know. I'll have to look into that. I'm not messing with it right now. I don't feel like it. Oh. There's a burn. It's still preheated. I didn't think it was still preheated. Ow. Oh, damn it. I just, like, cupped the entire extruder assembly with my fingers. Hot. It's hot. It's hot, guys. I wouldn't recommend doing that. Alright, so we got the filament out. Son of a bitch, that hurt. Because that heat block's, like, completely exposed under there. I gave it a reach around, and it was not ready. Save your sanity and print out a screw attachment so when you get the nozzle hot at the right thing. Yeah, it's probably a good idea. Yeah, burning flesh does not smell good, and that, like, now I have stink fingers of the wrong kind. Wrap some cling wrap around it. No thanks. I could dip my fingers in Vaseline and then put some nitrate gloves on. But it's funny, like, I've known for a long time, but it's not super obvious, but burns are, like, the most painful thing. They are the most painful kind of injury you can get. With the exception of maybe smashing, like crushing something can hurt pretty bad. My uncle just actually crushed the tip of his thumb off back at my family's lumber mill the other day. Organization is on point. It's not on point. If you were saying I'm organized, that is, because I'm not. Like, if I'd rotate the camera and you'd see the rest of the shop, it is a cluster. It is a hot mess at the moment. Yeah, damn it, my finger's blistering already. That was not... Why did I do that? Why do you guys let me do these things? Why? I ask, why? Why don't you save me from myself? My monster can isn't even cold anymore. I can't even soothe it. Yeah, burns just like, as far as like pain level, burns are like the worst. Because even like smashing yourself or smashing part of your body, it doesn't hurt. Like after you reach like a certain point in the healing process, it doesn't hurt as bad. But burns hurt for a long, long time. Rule number 2, if it's hot, don't touch it. Now you tell me. Where are you guys with all this useful information when I need it? I need to take notes. Note number 1, don't touch shit that's gonna burn you. Duly noted. All right, I don't know where to put stuff. Like I have this knock to a fan here. I have notes from a video I need to record. I have 3 sizes of zip ties. I need like so much more storage in this area. And it's only like my requirements are only getting worse as time passes because I have more stuff just everywhere. I can't believe I haven't plugged this battery backup in yet. I've had this since, I think, Wednesday. And it's like Monday and Tuesday, I was like, oh god, why doesn't this thing get here? And then I got it and I didn't do anything with it. I guess, wait, let's plug it in. I want to see what it does. I know that's a stupid thing to say to a battery backup, but... Because I believe it has like an LCD like display and stuff. It's all fancy. So let's set it over here. I have a feeling, prediction, this is going to beep obnoxiously loud as soon as I plug it in. I just have a feeling. These things, especially like higher end, not that this is like a super high end battery backup, but most of these have a lot of like audio signaling that they do. It maintained its smoke. It held it. Important. It has an important warning on here. Press and hold the power button. You will hear a constant tone for 1 second, followed by a short beep. Release the button after the tone. Told ya. Alright, so we got 122 volts coming in. And apparently the battery is like damn near completely charged. 60 hertz. 122 volts. One of the reasons they do make a couple models that are slightly more economical than this one, but this is like one of the first, like moving up the model line. This is one of the first ones that actually puts out, I forget what they call that, like wave modulated. I forget what they call it, but it puts out like a really clean waveform for like your 60 hertz power, which I don't know if it matters, but I know some electronics can be kind of sensitive to that, and for like the extra $15 or whatever it was to move from the model below this to this one and get that feature seemed like a decent buy. Sine wave, that's right. Did I plug in the battery? No, I didn't. Though it must be plugged in. It says the battery thing is good to go. I honestly don't see how this one pops open. But no, it seems like it was ready to go, actually. You've got the Twitch chat. Oh, I don't have my thing up. I don't have my mouse over here. I have a nice wireless blue field laser upstairs, but I have this old... This isn't a shitty mouse, but... we do have some people in Twitch. Hey, what's up, guys? How long does this usually take a day? I don't understand what you're asking me. Hey, what's up, Jettystone? Yeah, sorry. Sorry to the Twitch guys. This is being like streamed simultaneously. Like, I primarily stream on YouTube, so I also like stream it out to Twitch at the same time. But there's usually not much activity. Like Twitch, there's not a whole big 3D printing scene on Twitch, so it's usually pretty dead. So I apologize if I miss messages over there. I believe this has replaceable batteries. I don't know. It's got a lot of messages. Well, shit. Let's plug this printer in and unplug the battery back up and see what happens. So of course our fan is on. Now let's unplug it from the wall. Yeah, the batteries are definitely hooked up. It's gonna beep and stuff, letting us know that it switched over, but let's mess with this. Oh, I don't know if anybody noticed that. It has like the estimated time remaining, and it went from like 380 minutes to 29 minutes whenever we started preheating. Oh, that's funny. It's the load capacity, because it has like the battery capacity and then like the load capacity. This should not really be impacting the load capacity all that much. Like we said, this draws about 200 watts peak. I think it peaked at like 205 while it was printing that. And that was only like a 10-minute test, so it could peak a little bit higher than that. But picking up an audio hum. It's hard to tell what that might be because the Prusa fan is on back here. It is funny if it's picking up an audio hum. Well, I do have this right next to the battery. Is it really wise? Is it a really wise idea to give a printer that doesn't like being left alone the power to keep everything when else trips out? No, probably not. I said this probably isn't going to be a printer that I keep on the battery backup. I just happen to have both of these sitting here, so I figured, what the hell. But it looks like we'd be able to run this for... Oh, we're not actually doing a print. Let's start a print again. That's so weird, the fan RPM spikes. That's so weird when you're scrolling through that menu. But no, this will mainly be for I'm anticipating that this is primarily going to be for the MK2, the Duplicator i3, and more than likely the Trinus. And again, I talked about it when I was unboxing this. The main thing I need this for is those really quick, like power on or power off, power ons. That's what we get around here. Like, we really don't get times where the power's down for a long time. So this is mostly just to keep the freaking power switching. Like, I don't know if there's like a substation nearby that's like switching sources and it's just down for a couple milliseconds. But it's enough to reset the printers, and it's a huge pain in the ass. Like, I had the other day, I tried like 5 times total. I finally did get the 2 pieces I needed printed, but I had a pair of these printing twice, and like this is one of the failed ones that was about 12 I want to say like 12 hours approximately into this print, and the power blipped off for a minute. So I came down and literally punched this off the build plate. I wish I had that on camera. I just came down and like bitch slapped it off the build plate. I was so pissed off when that happened, because I'm already backed up, like, printing stuff. And restarted it, and it ran for, like, a couple more hours, and then it happened again. Did the same thing, reset it, ran it for a couple more hours, and it did it again. I was livid by the 3rd time. But I did. I came down and, like, punched it off the build plate. I was so pissed off. I was laying... it freaked my wife out. I was laying in bed. I was, like, 100% asleep. And I heard... I don't know how you can hear it, but you can hear when the power goes off. Like, we have a fan in our bedroom, and it got silent for a second and then came back on. And I instantly knew. And I, like, flung the sheets off and stomped down, like, back through the house and down the steps into the basement here. Walked over, punched off the build plate, cleaned it off with alcohol, and started it again. So hopefully we won't be doing that again now that I have this. Need some 3D printing anger management. I'm bipolar, so good luck with managing my anger. Because if you can find a way to do it, I'd love to know how. Yeah, SoCal, you're right. UPSs... These are one of those items where it's kind of depressing to read reviews, because, like, 99% of them are fine, but sometimes when they fail, like any electronic device that has DC voltage in it with a battery attached to it, it can start fires. How do you know that the filament you buy is good quality? If it prints good, it's probably good quality. Like, not trying to be a smartass, but no. Realistically though, it's tough. That's why I plug them all the time. The Maker Box is a good way to go if you've never seen it. I have a bunch of them stacked up here. It's a monthly subscription box where you can get samples. And, oh, this one has Haribo. I'm eating these things in it. It has a mini bag of Haribos in there. But for me, it was a good way to try filaments when I wasn't, like, confident enough to be buying full rolls. Just as, like, a shot in the dark to try. But, like, if you want to call it that, my main squeeze right now, like the PLA that I print with, that I really love printing with, is the eSun PLA Plus. It's a little bit more than their normal PLA, but this stuff prints fantastically. Like, I absolutely love it. What's my referral code? I actually don't have one. I've even had a couple, not really lengthy, but I've even chatted with the guy that runs the company. He's still in college, actually. And we've talked about doing a giveaway on my channel and stuff, but I actually don't have a referral code. Unless they include one and I just don't know about it. But I don't think I have one. I'm not really worried about making money off of it. I just actually like... I really like the box because it's helped me find a bunch of filaments that I would have never otherwise found. Hiding the Haribo. Yeah, they had, in this last month's box, they had one of those microscopic bags of Haribo in there. That's kind of crazy, guys. I don't know if you can see the display on this, but this is saying that it would run this for... It's fluctuating, but it's fluctuating between like 58 and like 190 minutes. So I'd be able to... Like, I could throw this in my car and go print in the woods for an hour, which is kind of crazy. I'd be interested to see how long the Trinus would run off of this without a heat bed. Use raw deals. Come on, man. You're crowding my action here. No, I don't care. No, I do. I need to get some of the affiliate things and stuff. Pull the power. I did pull the power, man. This is the plug to the battery backup. It's been unplugged for like 10 minutes. Yeah, the printer is printing like off the battery. Like, here's the printer plug. And here is the battery backup. We're running on reserves. No, I don't care. I don't care, man. If you have a referral code and people want to use it, that's fine. Like I said, I don't plug them because I have like a dog in the fight or anything. I just really like the box. And the people that are most likely to ask about advice buying filament are people who are new. And that was most useful for me when I was new as well. What brand is the battery backup? This is a Cyber Power. This is their 1500... I forget what it is. It's a 1500 AVS LCD or something like that. Let me look at it. It has such a long... It's a CP 1500 AVR LCDA. And I mainly got this one because they were running a promo where I think that was normally like $150 or something like that, which is actually out of my price range, or maybe it's like 140, somewhere in that range. And normally that's way out of my price range. For something like this, it's not actually going to make anything itself. But they had a promo where you signed up for a thing and you got $40 off. And I had like another $20 gift card for Amazon. So between those, it got it like way below $100. And at that point, I was like, man, I don't know. That seems like a pretty solid deal for something like this that should last me a long time and be able to handle all the printers that I actually want to keep running all the time. Because like I said, I'm not too concerned about having the Anet A8 on battery backup. But no, that's kind of crazy. It is nice to know that, especially if I just have like the MK2 in there, or maybe like the MK2 and the Wanhao i3, that I actually have a decent little buffer with this thing for power to come back on. So that's pretty sweet to know. I'm kind of curious with this also, if you've ever used the A8, this is one of those printers where if you unplug it, it actually stays powered on for, I would say, 3 to 4 seconds. So I'm kind of curious to see if this could actually survive those quick power outages just because of the capacitors in the power supply. Occasionally, you will run into power supplies like that where they have big enough capacitors in them that they're actually they have a short reserve built into them almost. How hot is the heated bed MOSFET? I can check it. Let me touch it with one of my unburnt fingers. Maybe I can get all 5 of them burnt here by the end of the night. It is kind of funny. You can see, if I put my fingers together, you can see the square shape of the heat block burnt into the tips of my fingers. The MOSFET for the heat bed is barely warm. It's not hot at all, really. It's barely warm. And that was my unburnt finger, so it still has sensitivity. Alright, so we get the idea. I just realized that's printing without filament also. We took the filament out. So yeah, we get the idea. Let's test this theory. I'm going to yank the plug out of this really quick and put it back in. And see if this will take a couple milliseconds without power. It will not. That was a slow unplug. But anyway, that's interesting. I'm glad it works. Oh, thanks, Rybo for Ivan. I appreciate it, man. Thank you so much. But no, things like that. This thing's humming a bit. There we go. This thing was humming a bit. You'll get in trouble, dude? What am I getting in trouble for? What's it humming? It wasn't humming a tune. It was just like if you ever heard like metal halide lights outside, that's like the closest sound I could think of that it sounded like. But very cool. Like, I don't know where the hell to put this thing. I wasn't expecting it to be quite this big because I'd actually planned on maybe mounting it on the wall, like printing some holders on the end and mounting it, which would be cool. But Rybo Fryvan, why is he going to get in trouble? You're in trouble, Rybo Fryvan. I don't know why, but apparently you are. It's 2017 tech, it should hum a tune. What's my favorite 3D printer I've ever seen? I've never actually thought about that. Yeah, shit, I don't know. I don't know. That's like, I'm actually kind of speechless. I want to say the MK2, but that's such a bullshit answer. Oh Jesus, guys. You don't need to we don't need any of this. I feel like I need to take something off. But no, I do appreciate it. Thank you, Fun King. That's crazy. I don't know why people want to give me money, but I'll take it. But I don't know. I don't know. I really don't know. I think one of the printers I've been most intrigued by that I kind of wasn't expecting to be were I can't think of the name of it. It's that dual extrusion printer that has the 2 separate heads. 3D Maker Noob just recently did a video / review on it. That thing appeals to me a lot. Because there's a lot of printers that do multiple colors and extrude multiple materials and stuff. But that one seems really nice. Like the results that people are getting out of it seem really fantastic. Yeah, the R17. That is not a printer that I was expecting to appeal to me all that much, and I really think I would love that thing. That seems like a solid piece of machinery. But outside of that, like some of the SLAs, something like that. What would you suggest? Well, sir, it happens to be the case that we have a cheap-ass printer sitting on the table right now. If you have 6 hours of your life to throw away on something kind of pointless, you could watch the assembly video we did of this thing. That was just the other day, actually. This is the Anet A8, which I think there's still a link to in this video description or the stream description because I forgot to delete it. This is if you have a really tight budget and you want a printer that will be a good platform moving forward. If you're a tinkerer, I think this is not a bad option. This thing prints okay. And like I said, this was like $162 shipped to my door, which is really, really freaking cheap in the 3D printing world. But there's this thing. I don't personally have an A6. This is the Anet A8. This isn't bad. And then there's the Anet A6, which I think is a slightly better version of this, but it'll cost you about 50 more bucks, somewhere in that region, 50 or 60 more bucks. But outside of that, it kind of depends on what you want to do with it. There's like the Fabricator Mini. I don't think that's a bad little printer. I think that's in about the same region for price. Like 170 bucks, something like that. I think the second version of that just came out not too long ago. But it's questions like that it's exactly questions like that made me want to get an A8, because I know a lot of people are interested in getting into 3D printing, but they don't want to spend like 700 bucks on an MK2, which is totally understandable if you're just trying to see if you'd like something and you'd like to get into it. Which is why I'd like to try this thing out. In the meantime, if you want more info and you don't want to wait a couple weeks as I go on my adventure with this thing, we've talked about him like 10 times today, but 3D Maker Noob did a couple nice videos. He just recently did the part cooling fan shroud shootout for the Anet A8. I thought that was a freaking fantastic video. I think Angus, I don't know if Angus has done anything on the A8, but there's a couple of the bigger YouTubers that have done some content on this thing, and it's a pretty solid platform to kind of get your feet wet with. But and yeah, both the A6 and the A8 have, like, this is a full size printer. It's something you kind of give up on the Fabricator Mini and stuff, is it does have a tiny build plate. But this thing is a solid platform, or it seems to be at this point. Could be the case in a couple weeks I hate it, but I don't really foresee that happening. If you I forget where I put it. Like this little thing, I know I don't have my second camera on here. I guess I do have my mouse over here now. This little thing was the first print I did on this with like 0 calibration. And let me see this fella. This camera, sorry it's so bright, but this is the first print that machine put out, and that is not bad. That is not the best print you'll ever see, and it's certainly not the worst. But that was just like some very minor bed leveling, and that's a respectable print. Like if I met somebody and they're like, yeah, I'm into 3D printing, and they'd show me this thing, I wouldn't be like, oh, you're an idiot. You know, that's not a bad print. Where the hell did my configuration window go? Is that it? Sorry, my other monitors are like a desktop and a half away. That's not it. There it is. No, it's not. What the hell? Oh, that's the wrong camera. I'm sorry. Hell, I was trying to calibrate the wrong camera. Idiot. There we go. Yeah, sorry, that's like obnoxiously bright. Every time you restart your computer, it like resets all the cam settings. There we go. But yeah, you get the idea. And then I guess while I have it up, I can show you guys that rocket too. This was this is the only other print, and it's probably the case that it's something in the slicer settings, because if you see the let me freaking focus. Get this focused here. That is the zoom, you idiot. You see, there's really no extrusion problems with this. It's mostly like calibration, I think, that you need to like tighten up this. And like I talked about before, this filament has like a kind of unpleasant, oily finish to it. But you see, this print turned out okay, but it's a little tough to see because it's so bright. But there's a couple places where it just didn't extrude. But you can see, like, on the fin there, the light's sheening off of it. The quality of this print is actually really good. As far as how the print lines registered to each other, it seems fairly consistent as far as, like, you know, not having Z-banding or any kind of, like, oscillation in the Z-axis, or the bed being out of true or anything crazy like that. So it seems like a solid place to start. Yeah, the A2 has a big build platform. All right, see you, Patrick. Patrick, thanks for stopping by, man. Oh, they have a flash sale for the A6. I should get one. Because I think as they are now, they're like, or maybe that's, you gotta be careful, David, because if you get on GearBest a lot, they're like perpetually on sale. They're one of those companies that kind of markets their stuff that way all the time. It's like technically I got, or who was I talking to? I was talking to somebody who got their A6 for like $165 or something like that. Because they have like a baseline sale all the time, and then occasionally they'll have like a bigger sale. But yeah, that must be the price I saw then, because it was about $190 and then about $30 shipping, because it was about $220, which puts it roughly $60 more than the A8, because the A8's like $160 with free shipping to most places. You really want a CR10? My intentions were to pick up a CR10. That's what I had actually planned on doing, and instead, I ended up getting the Wanhao, just because I know that's going to be a better fit for me. I'm not getting anything done here, guys. Let's get some stuff moved. I do need to print. I wouldn't really consider that an upgrade, but I think one of the first things a person should probably do, a lot of people recommend putting a different power supply on the A8. I'm going to let it on here. I'm going to test it out. If it burns my house down, obviously, I'm going to give it a not so positive review, but we're going to try it out. It seems okay. I've worked with a shit ton of cheap power supplies over the years, and they generally don't cause fires when they fail. My dad runs an arcade and ran an arcade route for quite a few years, and we always had mountains of cheap Chinese power supplies. And usually when they fail, it's usually like the rectifiers in them will fail, or they'll blow diodes, they'll blow capacitors, stuff like that. Usually don't get shorts that actually start fires, so we'll try it out. But I think it is worthwhile to print the little enclosure for the bottom of the power supply for three huge reasons, really. One, you're covering your mains power connections, which is something you should do, so you don't have any chance of touching it if you're reaching around, if you're giving the printer a reach around. you don't have the possibility of touching the mains. You have the ability to put a power plug on there so you can actually have a removable cord. Like right now, I wish I could take this cord off to make it a little bit easier to move this machine around. And the third reason, which is actually the most practical one to me, is having an on-off switch so you don't have to unplug your stuff every time you want to turn it off. Because like some people have said, I really don't trust this printer that much yet. So I do unplug it at night and stuff when I'm not using it because I don't want it to burn my house down, if possible. Roll a d20. 20 bucks. 20 bucks is a sweet spot for what? Reach arounds? I missed that part of the conversation. My A8 is different to A-Buzz's A8. Yeah, I think they are. I don't know if it's the case. Like if you order from GearBest, I don't know if you'll get a different one. I wouldn't be surprised if that's the case. Because they are cheap. I'm sure they kind of just source the parts from whoever is willing to make them the cheapest. That kind of comes with the territory with really cheap clones like this. But that's why, I don't know. That's why I kind of like inherently don't like doing reviews, even though they are useful to a lot of people. Because everybody's experience varies. I remember I felt really bad at first after I said a bunch of nice things about the MK2, and then I got on the group, and then there was people that are having problems with them. Like I felt like a kind of guilt because I had such a good experience with them, and then I was like talking to these people that didn't. It's like it's like survivor's guilt sort of thing. Kind of the same concept. But I kind of got over it. $20. $20 is kind of a sweet spot for butt plugs and nipple clips. I wouldn't want to spend more than that. Plus, I can make my own. I can make them for a hell of a lot less than $20. You can have a good time on a budget. Yeah, reviews. It's just like that Anet A8 video, the assembly video. Like it's crazy how many views and stuff that got already. So it is like it is tempting to just knock that stuff out, but yeah. Robert, you picked up an A6. I think that's a solid printer because it's basically a better version of this. Yeah, you definitely want to... This video is going to get flagged. You definitely want to acetone smooth your butt plugs. Makes them more bacteria resistant. I saw a guy... I feel bad because there are legitimate uses for the flesh tone flexible filaments. But there was another guy in one of the 3D printing groups that was asking questions about the flesh-colored flexible filaments, and people just instantly jump on you. Like, we know what you're doing. We totally know what you're doing with that. Which I don't know if people are doing that. I don't know if that's like that good. Amazon sells a lot of stuff really cheap. I don't know why you'd make your own. Prefer an alien chest buster. Oh, you printed. I thought you were coming in on this conversation from a different angle. Oh, I did. I guess we can talk about that. I did pick that up. Earl Miller here in chat sent me a little care package. If I can figure out how to open it up. I can show everybody what's in here. Thanks, Earl. Man, I do appreciate it. A letter? Are you kidding me? Like, who cares enough to do that? And you even have, like, a printed signature on here. Craziness. But yeah, Earl sent me some, there's some of the reinforced cutoff wheels that I need. I haven't lost a finger yet, so I'm still working on that. Tungsten carbide Dremel cutter, which is they're pretty handy to have. Some fancy looking corks here with some gator clips for holding minis and stuff, which they're pretty fantastic for. Which is funny you sent me those and then you like got your files done. And then some empty dropper bottles for paint and stuff to have pre-mixed, which again are really, really handy. And then a water bottle for when I was airbrushing. I got to be honest, when I opened the box, the first thing I saw was this, and the first thing I thought was like, he sent me a freaking douche. Like, he sent me some gag gifts. All those are for the files. But yeah, when I opened it up, I basically like saw this in the top, and I was like, did he send me a freaking gag gift? I mean, I'm fine with that. But after the way you had talked about you sending me something, it just made me take a moment and assess the situation. But no, thanks, man. I would definitely use all that stuff. I need to get off my ass and do some painting again. It's been like 2 or 3 weeks since I painted anything. So that will definitely inspire me to get something done. Speaking of being inspired to get something done, let me move all this shit. You can see, you usually can't see them on stream, but like I have all these filament samples over here in bins. Mind if you throw a pickup? No, man, go for it. But I got all these bins over here with samples. These have all my lockpicking stuff in them. Man, I have improved my lockpicking. I remember, sorry, I'm trying to fix the stream here. I remember the first one of these Brinks locks I have. These tend to have 4 to 5 security pins in them. It took me like 3 months to pick this one the first time. And somebody picked me up a second one of these, and I picked it in like 30 seconds. Because they remembered me saying that these were great for practicing on. And the one they got me had like 2 spools and 2 serrateds in it. And I kind of like shocked myself that I picked it so fast. Again, not related to anything that's going on right now, but I was rather chuffed with myself. Okay, so I kind of want to move the mixer here, but I don't know where to put it. I guess I could just set the battery back up behind there. This is another feature of this battery backup is it's supposed to reduce your overall power consumption. Because like when we had the meter hooked up to this printer, the watt draw of it fluctuates. Like it'll spend a lot of time at like 30 to 70 watts of draw and then peak up to 180 to 200 whenever everything happens to be on at the same time. And the battery backups, especially like bigger ones like this, are supposed to, like, it'll switch to battery during those not big surges, but when it peaks like that, it's supposed to switch over to battery. And then when it's low, it'll keep like the draw consistent. So it'll charge the batteries back up. And then, you know what I mean? Instead of like actually drawing more current all the time through your actual meter, it'll use the batteries as like a buffer to reduce your overall power consumption. Supposedly, I don't know if that's true. Pure polycarbonate at the moment, and I'm blown away by it. I like the little bit of polycarbonate I printed with. I think mine was like the PC Plus, the black stuff, because I tried to print lockpicks out of it, and they failed terribly. You can't. There's no material I think that'll print lockpicks that'll actually work. But that stuff is crazy tough. I bent those lockpicks back damn near on themselves, and then straightened it back out, and it hadn't actually stressed the material to the point where it fatigued it. Which is kind of crazy. The if you're looking for a good matte filament, I don't know if you've tried the, what is that called? The matte fiber PLA. That stuff has a really nice, pleasant matte finish to it. Though I think the strength on it isn't that good because it's a little bit grainy in the little bit of testing I did with it. It's one of those filaments that if you try to flex it, it'll kind of like break. On Shapeways, MZ4250 has almost every D&D monster done from the monster manual. I think I have seen that. If I'm thinking of the same thing. That guy's like a huge catalog of files. It's one of the things, that's why I'm kind of excited to get the Trinus up and running, because I want to have it set up to do like 50 micron layer height with a really small nozzle and basically just run little detailed shit on it all the time, and it won't be like tying up my MK2. Because I would be more willing to print a lot more stuff like that if I didn't have to tie my machine up for like 18 hours to print a guy, because it's at like 50 microns. All right, I was talking to some guys from E3D about the 0.15 millimeter nozzle to get some like tips and advice, and they said you basically have to use the sock with that, because otherwise it bleeds heat really bad for whatever reason. So I don't know if anybody else is like looking into getting one of those, but there's a page, if you Google E3D 0.15 millimeter nozzle, there's a page that'll come up that has a bunch of like tips and advice they have for it, and there's actually a lot of unique things or unique qualities that nozzle has that you're not really going to be expecting, I wouldn't imagine. So if anybody gets one of those, make sure you look at that. I wasn't really aware of all the, like, they're not really bad, but there are some hoops you need to jump through to get that thing to perform, apparently. And there's a lot of filament that you just can't print with it. It's just too fine. Zadim, you have one. Like I said, I would highly recommend you check that page out if you haven't yet, because apparently it's a very specialized piece of hardware for a 3D printer. The 0.25 didn't seem that bad. I have printed a good bit with that, but man, I have it sitting over there. Man, when you look at the 0.15 and you look at the hole in that thing, that is tiny. That is a tiny little hole. All right, so let's get MK2 unplugged. Another problem I have is I built this bench like a year or two ago, and the top is actually not super level because our basement floor is kind of lumpy. It was poured like, I think this house was built in like the 50s, so it's not super smooth. The 0.1, I have seen some people talk about the 0.1s, but man, I can't imagine how tough that thing is to print. I would imagine you need to print pretty hot with it too. You can mold those socks. Oh, that's kind of cool. The A-nets, yeah, I guess their heat block is different. I do have some of them. Let me see how it fits on there. Or if. Nope, not even close. The dimensions of the heat block are basically the same as the external dimensions of this, so it's not even close. Not even in the same ballpark. All right, let me move the soundboard over to the table. Oh no, I got the cables all bound up. Damn it. All right. Hopefully nothing came undone. A couple mouse turds back there from our little friend a few weeks ago. Nothing like flicking mouse turds around your basement. But all right, let's just tentatively. I got my man. If nobody's messed with VR, they sell these cheap ass little like VR headsets at Walmart for like $12. Worth checking out. They're a lot of fun. Holy hell! I was not expecting that to be as much fun as it is. All right, so let's get the Anet in a home over here. Yeah, that's not flat over there. I don't know what to do about that. I don't know what the best way. I guess I should get like concrete slabs for each printer, which cut down on the noise too. You just got an Oculus. Yeah, the Oculus is in like another league than the $12 headset. Don't burn yourself. No, it's unplugged now. It's cooled down. It's all good. But so if we get that over there, I guess I'm not too pressed for space yet. I just know as soon as the Wanhao gets here, it's gonna be a little tight in here. See, the thing is, like, let me get OBS over here where I can see it. We're gonna have to like change the camera angle for when I do stuff. I mean, that's not bad. It's different. Feels weird. I need like a different angle on the table and stuff here. Yeah, I think concrete slabs. Man, I was so pissed off the other day. I went to Lowe's, right? So they have marble slabs there, and marble's like ideal because it's super dense. Or no, it was quartz. It wasn't even marble. It was quartz. Quartz is like super dense, super heavy. And they had some like oblong slabs there that were 12 by 16, which I've never seen them before. I think they were special order. I just did a whole circle. Where's my tape measure? Damn it. Wasn't I just like measuring stuff? What did I do with that tape measure? But they had all these boxes of like quartz slabs sitting back there at Lowe's, priced individually. They were being sold by the square foot or by the tile. And I had 3 of them I was going to get to put under these printers. And I took them up to the register, and the lady would not sell them to me. And she called back to the department. She's like, we only sell those by the case. Because I told the guy, I was like, you realize these are opened? There's like 8 of these tiles back here, and they come in cases of 12. What the hell are you going to do with them if you're not going to sell them individually? You don't have a whole case. He's like, sorry, we only sell them by the case. Because I was so pissed off. They were so cool looking. They were like gray and kind of tan with real bright, like rose / pink / fuchsia streaks through them. So pissed off. They would look so sweet. It looks like 10 by 18 would be about perfect for the Anet. I mean, you could get wider, so I guess you should get under the Z-axis motor, so it would actually need a bigger one. It looks like 16 would get you under everything depth-wise, and then 16 by 18. 16 by 18 would be perfect for a slab under that. And then the MK2 is a little bit better. The MK2, you'd only need about 8 by 13 for a slab to fit under the entire base and have it supported. And obviously the Trinus is like 10 inches by 10 inches. Yeah, 10 by 10 would be perfect for the Trinus. But yeah, that's so frustrating. I thought I was like set. I was like, hell yeah. I got some slabs finally. I've been wanting to get some of those. And they were going to look nice. Because I check back there all the time to see if they have any like overstock or special orders that were broken up or anything like that. And they finally did, and they wouldn't sell me something at Lowe's. Lowe's wouldn't sell me tiles. It was so irritating. Because I've actually wanted to go back since then. It was like 2 days ago. And I've wanted to go back and try again for when someone else is working. Talk to a manager. You got a rubber tile. The only problem is a rubber tile won't help me level with a leveling issue. And it's one thing that like a big stone tile would. Because it might not be perfectly level, but it's probably better than my bench top is here. So let's say we do that. I don't know. I don't like that kind of. Plus, what the hell am I going to do with this thing? I don't know, guys. I don't know what to do. Or should I just clear this wall off so they're kind of like staring everybody in the face? Because people are always like interested in what you're printing, and it would be like easier to see everything here. Because I think I don't know what the hell I did with my tape measure. Did anybody see what I did with that? How did I lose it? Oh well, I don't know where it is. Another thing, I finally got some of my parts from Open Build, and damn it, this stuff is sweet. If you ever saw Tom's video he did this year about his camera slider, it really inspired me. Like I've wanted a camera slider for a while now, and I've been like debating how to do it exactly. And I actually reached out to them, and they were willing to hook me up with some of the components that I needed. Because I got the extrusion, I got like a nice, like one of their Open Builds, NEMA 17s that's going to drive it. And their belt material is really nice. Which makes me think I'm probably just going to go ahead and order some of this belt to replace the ones on the Anet A8. Because the material on those is terrible. And these are nice, like, rubberized, fiber-reinforced belts that shouldn't stretch. They might stretch a little bit. But, yeah, I'm not standing there and coiling this up. But I got the belts. I got one of their gantry kits. You can see my camera's already mounted to it. This thing's... Yes, yes, Icicle, I'm wearing the same shirt as yesterday. It was a long day and night. Here's my gut. Awesome. Nice crotch shot there. Sorry if this is out of focus. Might be a little out of focus. But this is their gantry set, and it's like, it's aluminum plate. That is really close. It's an aluminum plate, and it comes with a set of, like, some kind of, I don't know, hard material wheels that fit into the V-slot. They come with bearings on either side. And I just have my camera like half-ass mounted. I went down to my local hardware store and got this is a 1/4 by 20 bolt with a hex head, and I countersunk it a little bit, like half-ass with a drill bit. See, it's not perfect, but it's in there pretty deep, so it doesn't hit the rails. And then a lock nut and washer on the bottom to the plate, and then just a big washer and a nut to secure the camera on there. And it's on there. It's on there good. That's not. Whoops. I say that and it just came loose. Shut up, guys. All right, I don't need your bat chat. Let me fix that quick. Damn it. All right, that's pretty tight on there. You get the idea. The camera's mounted on the gantry plate, and then they have this sweet ass aluminum extrusion. Like I said, if you saw Tom's video, he used 20 by 40, I think, which is basically double width, which was okay. But I just wanted to go all out because this stuff's not that heavy. So I went 20 by 80. This is the widest they make. And then the gantry actually sits in the slots, in those V-slot wheels. And this has eccentric nuts on it, which allow you to adjust the tension side to side. And this stuff is freaking fantastic. This thing is like great. Like obviously I'm going to motorize it with the NEMA 17s and the little Arduino Nano and driver setup that I have. But this is already a pretty solid slider. Like I can already get pretty decent shots like just moving this by hand because it moves so nice. But I'm going to be doing like a full build video on this here in the near future. Because I know there's a lot of people in the community that want to start channels and stuff. And I've seriously been considering the idea of starting up a secondary channel because the content doesn't really fit here. But starting up a second channel about like actually running like a little amateur YouTube studio out of your home. Because it's not that hard, but you do need some information. Yeah, I need end stops. Because I'm not really going to use it much yet. I actually just got it yesterday. So I just like assembled everything. But it moves so great. Like their stuff, the quality of all the components is just fantastic. Even like the little trivial things, like the little washers and stuff they sent, like the finish, the manufacturing finish on those is fantastic. I know it's not important stuff. All of the items have their branding on them. It's like nicely screen printed on all the items. And it's just little things like that really take things to the next level. It's like I've mentioned several times about the Prusa MK2 steppers having everything like screen printed on them for identification and stuff. It just makes things seem really nice. But yeah, even their stepper motor has like their branding and stuff on it. It's great. I will Gusner. This is going to be like a professional slider when I'm done with it. Because I have the belt. I have all the gears and stuff that I need. I might do gear reduction on it. I'm not sure. But yeah, I'll print 3D printed pieces. There'll be a little control panel similar to Tom's, because he was definitely the inspiration for this. But like I said, I just wanted it to be a little wider because, especially when you have bigger lenses, you get a lot of like torque on this little plate. And I figured you can get the 80 mil plate anyway, so why not just get the widest extrusions they have and give you like just such a rock solid stable platform. But you see just like how buttery the movement is on there. It's like great. I freaking love it. But yeah, this should be an exceptionally clean build when I'm done. I really do want to take my time, design the end stops so they're nice, have micro switches like you guys suggested. And then, like, I like coding. Flywheel. I don't want a flywheel though. I want it to be 100% motorized. I already have like stuff to make the little rechargeable battery pack and stuff coming. But yeah, I should pretty soon have all the stuff for it. I'm just pumped. It's kind of why I've been putting off doing some of the videos. Because I have a couple things. I finally got my light boxes. They need set up better, but I finally got some of that stuff. I need to record my channel trailer. I'm going to change like the overall appearance and format of some of my videos and stuff. And I just wanted to get some of this stuff sorted out before I really do too much content moving forward. Because I want to keep like pushing the production quality up. The flywheel is to damp the movement. I can see that, but I also, if you watch Tom's video, he actually complained about his flywheel causing some resonance in like really slow movements. Might not be the right word for it. Yeah, man. Oh, I need to get. I want to get a ball head. There's a bunch of different like approaches you can use for the head on this. I think I want to get a ball one just for like the freedom of movement and stuff. But yeah, I can do some pretty juicy dungeon footage with this, hopefully. But so I just love this stuff. This stuff is great. I want to build, like people have built the 3030 Prusas. I want to build the 2080. Stuff's so sweet to work with. But yeah, I've been debating making a second channel because there wouldn't be a whole lot of content on it, but like I'd like to review this camera. I love this camera. I have a hot shoe mic or a cold shoe mic for it, like a little shotgun mic that I'd like to do a review for. The soundboard and stuff. Like I'd like to review all this equipment because I've used it for a while now, before this channel even. So I really definitely know how I feel about this stuff. But it just doesn't make a whole lot of sense on this channel to do that. But I don't know. It's already a lot of work to keep stuff flowing on this channel, so I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it. Don't make a second channel. Because I've already done a little bit of content on here that's not directly 3D printing related, and it's well, I know Gusner, but I've already branched out a few times, and it is not received kindly. So it's kind of it's a tough call to make. Because I know like Tom has a secondary channel where he like streams and stuff on it, and even him with like 50,000 or whatever the hell he's at, he's like a shitload of subs. And even a guy like him, he got almost zero overflow onto a secondary channel. And it's just because people go to him for 3D printing, they don't really give that much of a shit about other stuff. And it sucks. Like I hate that it's that way. It's like Jabman with his gaming streams. He kind of, we never talked about it much, but it came up in a couple of his streams and we talked about it. It's like the reception to non-3D printing content is lukewarm at best. So it's kind of tough. It's a tough call to make. Where did I get the black alloy extrusion from? This is from openbuilds.com. All this stuff was like this this plate here with like the wheels and stuff. This is actually a kit. It's called their gantry kit. And the stuff is really nice. Like this gantry kit has literally everything you need. Has all the spacers, the hardware, the wheels, the bearings. It has this plate with a bunch of mounting holes in it. And just the fit. Man, the fit of this on this extrusion. And you can set it up for whatever width extrusion you want to use. Like I said, Tom used the 20x40s. It's just, man, all the other options I was looking at will never work as good as this. Like this just, the movement on this is so buttery. It is fantastic. So I'm excited to get this running. It's going to reignite my passion for photography. But yeah, openbuilds.com is where I got all this stuff. And their prices aren't bad. I think, I don't remember what it is offhand. I think I have, this might be the itemized list here. The prices are actually not that bad. This might just be a packing list. Yeah, it's just a packing list. I think, I want to say like 20 some bucks for this piece. So not very much. Yeah, like Gusner. 22 bucks. 22 bucks for this piece of aluminum. Like, holy shit. That's crazy. I could actually build, like I was talking about my bench not being level. I could just like get the 1500 millimeter piece and build a little frame out of this to set on top of my desk and kind of shim this. And this would give me a nice flat surface to sit printers on. It'd probably be noisy because it would help resonate the noise and stuff. But no, at their prices, their NEMA 17s the price was okay on these. There's a lot of places you can get cheap ass NEMAs, but this is a really nice one. Just looking at it, you can tell the build quality on this is quite nice. And their belt material seems fantastic, and it's pretty cheap. This gantry set, I think, was like 30 something, which doesn't seem super cheap until you start pricing out parts and stuff. But no, overall, I've been really happy with everything they hooked me up with. I dig it. I'm definitely going to be finding excuses to use more of this extruded aluminum. This stuff is so cool to work with. The only thing I don't have that I need are some of those little slot nuts that slide in here so you can attach things in the grooves and stuff. But other than that, yeah, everything's fantastic. Pretty pumped about getting this project going. I think one of the most painful costs of that project is going to be buying the actual head to mount to that plate to mount the camera. Because I'm kind of afraid to get... Like, at this point, I think the cost for all those items was right around $100, which, when it's all said and done, for the quality of camera slider, that's going to be like $100 is essentially nothing. That's cheap as shit for as nice of a camera slider as that's going to be. Like, if it turns out as nice as I hope it will, a similar camera slider, you're probably looking at $200, $300, maybe even $400 to get a motorized slider as nice as that's going to be. You're building your next printer in 3030. This printer seems sweet when people do a nice job. Somebody posted a printer the other day in the 3D printing group, and it was it might have been the Prusa group actually. And it was in like gray and silver, and the thing looked so amazing. I keep seeing projects like this, and it just makes me want to do them. So I guess we could have our battery backup sitting there, but that looks kind of stupid. I know you guys can't see much because I have booms in the way everywhere, but this damn thing, I need to get rid of this. I need to print like an articulating arm that I can bend in more directions than that thing. But I don't know, that kind of looks kind of stupid over there. I don't like that. And the Trinus is too small. I don't know where to put this. He's dwarfed over there. Why not under the bench? Just because there's a bunch of stuff under there, and I'd like to be able to see this. Like, not that I can't see under the bench, but I'd like to just have it like easily accessible. Are there cable entries in the workshop? You mean like power? Not really, unfortunately. Like I said, this house was built in the 50s. I need to run some boxes over here. Like, I'd like to have one under there, kind of tucked out of the way. And then probably like a gang of like 6 or 8 plugs in the corner would be nice. Yeah, Earl, I can see that. I can see that it's kind of what needs to happen. Because I think it makes the most sense to just have the printers lined up here and then maybe my storage off to the side. Since the printers, like, I want to be able to, even this one, like this table and stuff's kind of blocking it off. And it's best to have like the most accessibility that you can manage for your printers, for getting printers off, or prints off and maintaining and doing all that stuff. 9 printers, yeah, right. I mean, hopefully the day will come, but I already stretched my budget way past its breaking point at the moment. So I'm gonna be content. I'm fine with going from 1 to 4. That's a big enough jump for me. Because it's already overwhelming keeping, like, I feel like I'm spinning plates. Because I got the stuff I need to deal with the dryness. The Anet A8 here is going to be, not a big project, but it's going to be like an ongoing thing for a long time. Yeah, I was actually considering the linear rails and stuff from IGUS because they work really well. But the problem is you get with anything that slides without like a bearing, you get a little bit of that, like, I forget what they call that, like slip friction. And for most things, it doesn't matter. But when you're doing, like, especially like really slow slider shots, you can get a little bit of like micro vibrations in there, even with like really high quality components. That's why like most super high end sliders have like bearing setups. Mrs. Nillawise. That's pretty much the. I don't know if any of you guys saw the stream where Joel was counting his printers and talking about where all they are in his house. They're basically everywhere, like literally everywhere. Most of his bedrooms, most of his closets. I think they even have like 1 or 2 in the kitchen. Because I think his count was like 27 or something like that. 27 or 28 printers that he has. But no, I really think, like, obviously I haven't tried everything, but I really think that like gantry and bearing wheel setup with the V slots is probably the best approach to making a slider. Like there's benefits and drawbacks to everything, but that seems to perform really, really well. No, I get what you're saying, Jai. Like they're really high quality. I've just I know other people that are in photography, and I've watched a lot of like photography stuff that's not related to 3D printing at all. And even some of the really high end sliders and stuff that use like a friction approach, there's just places that you can actually see that in video. So no, I'm not trying to like knock the IGUS rods. They're fantastic. But there's some things that you do where even those like otherwise meaningless amounts of friction that you see can affect some of the video and footage and stuff that you do. But yeah, super high quality bearings. Because I think some of the high end sliders even use like ceramic bearings. But I don't know. There's all different approaches. It depends on what you're doing with it. But I think like for just like an all around solid unit, like I think I'm gonna be really happy with the one that I'm making here. Cost with a K. You should have left it alone. It was like edgy. They cost a lot. Oh, Miggy, you're using the printed ones? I've always been really skeptical of the printed bushings because, like, what's the word I'm trying to say? The I can't think of the word. The fit is very important. The tolerances are incredibly important and things like that. The weight is where the benefit is. Yeah, they're so much lighter. Like if you compare a similar slider of the same length with carbon fiber, it's gonna weigh like a tenth of what that piece of aluminum does. And they don't flex much either. Miggy Mike. No, I don't doubt that you got it dialed in. I've actually had some of the IGUS filament for a long time. They sent me some like months and months and months ago, and I've just never really had a desire to try to do that. No particular reason. It just never kind of happened. Well, guys, we're at like 2 hours, and my wife and daughter are home. It's like 8:30. We didn't get anything done. I was hoping to have like stuff rearranged. All I really did was made more of a mess by moving my by piling. I piled all my stuff up over there. Now I have my filament all sitting over my other desk. But if you can't tell, I like talking. That's why I wanted to like just hang out with you guys for a little while tonight. It's nice to just have casual conversation without like any real purpose. But I'm glad. I'm really excited that this works. We had some high wind. The power actually went out twice today. We had really high winds today, and the power went off. Luckily, I wasn't printing anything at the exact time that the power went off, so I didn't have to like come down and punch anything off the build plate. But it's nice to know that I can start longer prints again without having to worry about them failing because the freaking power blips off. Roll some characters. Yeah, Tech2C has a lot of cool videos. I think I have watched the ones that you guys are, the one that you're talking about with the carbon fiber rods, though they are expensive. Oh, see you, Gusner. Thanks for stopping by, man. Plexi with magnets. You've been working on a board game. I love game design. I really do. It's really relaxing for me. It's why I like I like all kinds of game design. I like board games. I love freaking board games. I like tabletop games of basically all varieties. I like computer games. I like programming computer games. Like I'm a little bit of a math nerd. I used to really be into like math parlor tricks. A lot of those are like acquired skills that you need to maintain. Like, I don't know if any of you guys are familiar with Arthur Benjamin, the mathematician. He was like my hero for a while. Because I was into like practicing squaring numbers in my head. I was to the point where I could square 4-digit numbers in about 30 seconds, which isn't impressive compared to like guys like Arthur Benjamin, but I was proud of myself. Takes quite a bit of mental RAM to process, to square 4-digit numbers in your head. And if anybody's ever seen the kind of parlor trick where you can tell someone the day of the week if they give you the date, I also know how to do that. I'm like okay at it. I haven't done it in a long time, but I can still do it. I've always been in stuff like that. But yeah, programming. I love freaking programming. It's why I was so pumped. I had never really understood how Arduinos worked. I know I feel stupid saying that, being a computer nerd. But I was really pumped how easy it is to code for the Arduinos. That's why I'm looking forward to the camera slider, because it's going to be completely like mine, more or less. Obviously, the extrusions and stuff aren't mine, but as far as like the design of all the printed pieces and the design of like the code and stuff that it runs is all going to be mine. I'm looking forward to having that. Y'all check that out, Gusner. I thought you were going to bed, man. You're hooked. Imagine if we had 3D printers back in the D&D era. I can't imagine what I'd be doing with a 3D printer if I had it in high school. That's back when I was in like RC cars and stuff like really, really bad. And Magic the Gathering. I don't know how I could have tied it into Magic the Gathering. That's true. I did say I was going to go too. I don't know how I could have tied 3D printing into Magic the Gathering, but I would have. I'd have been printing my own like D20s and deck boxes and... I wonder if somebody could print a card sleeve. I know it'd be like terrible in comparison to like a regular one. I would love to see somebody attempt that. I could probably picture how to do it too. I could kind of see. Oh, we should try that sometime. That would be. I don't think anybody's ever tried something like that. I could be wrong, but if you'd basically lay down like a really, really good first layer, and then put like you'd have to pause the print, and then put like a piece of parchment paper or something under it, leaving like a border for that next layer to connect. Switch filament to like some of the partially transparent ones that have like decent optical qualities, and then print like just another single layer on top of that, and then like get your parchment paper out and make like your own card sleeve. That would be amazing. Totally impractical, which makes it even cooler in a way, but I'd love to see somebody try that sometime. Push the limits of 3D printing. And it would it would like fuel the trolls in the 3D printing groups to go through all that bother to try to make an item that costs like 1/10 of a cent to buy. And you spend like a couple hours and $1 worth of filament trying to do it. But stuff like that's what excites me about 3D printing, is the wildly impractical but interesting things that people do with them. But yeah, we didn't get shit done today, but I guess the Anet is off the table. It's not like a total loss. I burnt my finger, so I've got a souvenir to take away from this evening. And I guess we did test the power supply out, so we know that that's going to do what I wanted it to do, so that's a plus. So I guess I'm going to get going. I think it's about time for my daughter to go to bed, so I got to go and give hugs and kisses and whatnot. But as always, like, thanks everybody for hanging out with me. Thanks for stopping by. It's nice to be able to jump on and do this and hang out with some people and chat, have some interesting conversations and stuff. So I do appreciate you guys showing up. And thanks to I feel terrible. I forget names. Riboflavin and Fun King. Thanks for the donations via Super Chat. I really do appreciate stuff like that. That will immediately go to one of the projects in question. So always know that if you do contribute in any way, it's always going to go immediately back into the channel. So if you're ever considering it, know that it's not going to be wasted. I'm not going to stop at McDonald's with it or anything stupid. It's always going to go like right back into to trying to make things better around here. But yeah, thanks everybody. I hope everybody has a good night. Print some cool stuff. Hopefully your power doesn't go out and make you punch things off your build plate. But yeah, I don't know where's my button at. There we go. But yeah, thanks everybody. Have a wonderful evening.